Hey friends, so happy to have you back in my kitchen. Today we're making garlicky herb chicken skewers with a buttery Parmesan glaze, plus a crunchy salad on the side. Dinner that tastes like it took hours, but really doesn't. Stick around, that glaze at the end is the best part of this whole video. We start with 2 chicken breasts, patting them dry with a paper towel so the seasoning sticks instead of sliding off. Now I'm cutting the chicken into even cubes and dropping them into a glass bowl. Cutting it small like this isn't just about presentation. Smaller pieces mean way more surface area touching the marinade, so every bite ends up seasoned all the way through instead of just on the outside. And they also cook through fast and evenly once they hit the oven on the skewers. A drizzle of olive oil goes over the cube chicken, loosening things up before the dry spices join in. Black peppercorns get a fresh grind straight over the chicken, and that sharp, warm smell hits before the powder settles on the meat. Next, a sprinkle of pink Himalayan salt over every cube, waking up the chicken before the bigger spices take over. Now comes the garlic powder, and I'm folding everything together with a spatula. Garlic powder is the better choice here rather than fresh. It coats every cube evenly instead of clumping in one spot, and it won't burn later in the hot oven the way raw garlic pieces sometimes do. Half a teaspoon of chili flakes goes in for some kick. Smoked paprika goes on next, painting the chicken a deep reddish color and adding a nice hint of smokiness. A teaspoon of coriander goes in, bringing a warm, citrusy note. Half a teaspoon of turmeric goes in for color and warmth. Finally, a teaspoon of thyme joins the bowl, and I'm mixing everything together with the spatula until every cube is coated. This spice mix is actually my grandmother's. She used almost this exact combination on roasted chicken every single Sunday, and the smell of thyme and paprika together still takes me straight back to her kitchen table, decades later, every single time I make it. The bowl gets covered so the flavors can really sink in. Now I'm pulling off the bag and threading the marinated chicken onto wooden skewers. Spacing the pieces out instead of packing them tight matters here. A little breathing room between each cube means hot air can actually reach every side, so the chicken browns evenly all over instead of just steaming in one thick, crowded clump. Five skewers go into a baking dish lined with parchment paper, and the tray slides into the oven for its first round of cooking, getting a solid head start before the glaze even joins the picture. Melted butter goes into a glass bowl, the base for that glaze we've been waiting on. 2 whole heads of garlic get grated on the fine side and go straight into the butter. This is where that rich, garlicky glaze really starts coming together, thick with flavor before anything else even joins it. Quick question while that garlic hits the butter. Are you someone who could eat garlic by the spoonful, or do you keep it more in the background of a dish? I want to know exactly how far you take it. So tell me in the comments, because I genuinely read every single one. A whole bunch of parsley gets chopped and stirred into that garlicky butter, turning it a deep green almost instantly. Parsley always reminds me of my mom's tiny herb garden on the back porch. She grew way more of it than any recipe could ever use, so it ended up in absolutely everything, from soups to sauces to simple butter just like this one. I used to help her pick it as a kid, and I still can't smell fresh parsley without thinking of those summer afternoons on the porch with her, hands green from stripping the stems. Now the Parmesan gets grated fine, on the same side as the garlic earlier. Parmesan is Italy's contribution to basically every cheese board and pasta dish on the planet, but it's just as good melted into a savory butter sauce like this one. It brings a salty, nutty depth that plain butter alone just can't reach, which is exactly what this glaze needs before it ever touches the chicken. The grated Parmesan goes into the bowl with the garlic and parsley, and I'm stirring it all together with a spoon until it turns into this thick, fragrant, green-flecked butter. At this point, the smell alone is enough to make you hungry, and we haven't even gotten to spreading it on the chicken yet. A splash of olive oil goes into the butter mixture, and I stir it through one more time. That little bit of oil loosens the whole glaze up just enough so it spreads smooth and even across the chicken, instead of sitting in one thick clump. The difference between a glaze that coats everything and one that just pools in the middle. The chicken comes out of the oven, and now I'm spreading that garlicky Parmesan butter evenly across every skewer with a spoon. Getting it into every gap between the cubes matters here, not just the tops. That's what gives you a bite of that rich, cheesy garlic flavor no matter which piece you grab off the skewer, not just one lucky cube. A green chili gets sliced into thin rings, and I'm laying them out evenly across all that melted glaze. Right away, the color pops against the golden butter underneath, and there's already this faint, sharp, unmistakable smell of fresh chili working its way through the kitchen before anything even goes back in the oven. It's the kind of detail that makes the whole dish look like it belongs on a restaurant plate, instead of something made at home on a random Tuesday night. Now a red chili gets sliced the same way, into thin rings that go on top of the green ones. One quick warning here if spice isn't really your thing. Leave a few rings off, or slice around the seeds and the white membrane inside, since that's where most of the real heat is actually hiding. The flesh alone gives you color and a little warmth without setting your whole mouth on fire. For the salad, lettuce leaves get cut into strips and go straight into the salad bowl. This is the easy part of the whole video. Just fresh, crisp greens as the base for everything else that's about to join them. No real technique required, just a sharp knife and a steady hand. Next, the tomato gets quartered, and each quarter goes into thin slices that fall right into the bowl with the lettuce. And here's my second question for today, and I really want to hear this one. What's the one vegetable you refused to eat as a kid that you actually love now? Tomatoes are mine. I picked every single one out of my salad until I was probably 16. Tell me yours down in the comments. I promise I'm reading every answer. Red bell pepper gets sliced into thin strips next, and those go into the bowl too, adding some sweetness and crunch right alongside the tomato and lettuce. If you don't have red on hand, yellow or orange bell pepper works just as well here. Really any color besides green, since green pepper tends to bring a slightly bitter edge that doesn't quite match the rest of this salad, no matter what the recipe says. Chopped green onion goes into a separate glass bowl on its own for the dressing. Its sharp, fresh bite is going to tie this whole salad together once everything gets mixed in. A little green onion sprinkled over grilled or roasted meat like this is such a simple move, but it's the kind of small touch that makes a homemade plate feel like it came straight out of somebody's favorite neighborhood restaurant, instead of just a regular Tuesday dinner at home. A pinch of pink Himalayan salt goes over the dressing bowl to start things off. Black pepper gets a fresh, generous grind right over the top as well. A good drizzle of olive oil goes over the green onion, and I'm tossing it all together with kitchen tongs until it turns into a loose, fragrant dressing. This is the moment where the whole salad finally comes together. That sharp onion bite, softened just slightly by the oil, ready to get tossed through the lettuce, tomato, and pepper right before this whole plate goes out to the table. The chicken comes out of the oven one last time, glaze bubbling golden. 3 skewers land right on the plate. That cheesy garlic glaze still glistening, and those bright chili rings sitting right on top of everything. The fresh salad goes right alongside the skewers, adding one last burst of color and crunch to the whole plate. Just take a look at this plate from every angle. That golden, cheesy glaze coating the chicken, the chili rings adding a pop of color, and a crisp, colorful salad rounding everything out perfectly. A fork pulls one piece of chicken right off the skewer, and that glaze clings to every side of it, cheesy and garlicky, with just a little kick from the chili rings sitting right there next to it. Honestly, this is the bite I look forward to the entire time I'm filming. And now, the first real bite. Juicy chicken, rich garlic Parmesan glaze, and just enough heat to keep things interesting. If this looked good, hit subscribe. See you in the next video.